It was my first date with Katsuki. I got dressed into something comfortable and redid my hair countless times. I was feeling nervous now. After the meeting at the cafe, we talked a lot. When I'd wake up, my first thing I saw was my phone was morning from him and brought a red flush to my cheeks. When I would think about him, a small grin would come upon my face. I would also do some strange things like talking with myself, reading his messages again and again, and printing and pretending recording my own perfection, checking my phone every 2 minutes, and recalling all my conversations with him. I really liked him. All of a sudden, a ding came through my phone. It was Katsuki. Are you ready to go? Yep. Meet me outside the cafe in 10 minutes? See ya there, short stack. You too, Bakugo. X. Your heart was now racing. She looked at herself in the mirror. She nodded to herself, grabbing her phone and keys, and strutted out her apartment. The sun shined brightly in the sky as she walked past citizens, a smile present on her face as she got closer to the all too familiar cafe. And there he was, in all his glory. And it was obvious that he went inside the cafe before waiting patiently for me, which was odd because he isn't known to be that type of guy. He looked up and then there our eyes met. They both walked up to each other. Bakugo's palms felt sweaty, and Yin felt like passing out. Hi, they said at the same time. Sorry, again said at the same time. Yin giggled, and Bakugo smirked at her face. You ready to go? He asked as they both started walking. Where are we going exactly? She wondered, but he looked down at her and petted her head. You'll find out soon enough. On the way to the mysterious place, they talked about their lives, their families, and everything else that came to mind. We're here, Bakugo said as they walked closer to a movie theater. Oh, what are we watching? She asked curiously. Well, I know you like the Avatar movie, and because I've never watched it, so Bakugo didn't finish his sentence as he rubbed the back of his neck. Ian looked at him in awe at the sweet gesture. I've never, I don't know why, but I don't like the Avatar, but it's just, yeah, but thank you, Bakugo. That's kind of you. She smiled and closed her eyes. He blushed and quickly grabs her hand as they entered the theater. Call me Katsuki. He paid for the tickets no matter how many times Ian tried to stop him. They went for food. I'm paying for the food, got it? She glared at him, and he nodded. Cute, he thought, as he picked out some spicy chips and a drink. Ian got sweets and a drink, and they agreed to share the large popcorn. As Yin was about to pay, Bakugo jumped in the way and did it instead. She gave him her playful, angry eyes, and he just smirked. Come on, dumbass. They entered and sat down in the back and placed their food and drinks on the empty seats beside them. I'm definitely paying for next time. We'll see about that. The lights went out and the large screen grew brighter, and the movie had started. In the first half, Bakugo looked at his date. He badly wanted to hold her hand, to feel the smooth skin touch his, to grasp her small in his large palm to protect it. They talked for a while now and gotten to know each other well. Mina was the one who pursued him to finally ask her. Kirishima was the one that suggested the movies. Sarah picked out his clothes. Kaminari suggested him to do physical touch with her. They all helped him out since he never wanted to hang out with anyone before. Bakugo pushed down his nervousness and gently grabbed her hand. He turned his head towards the movie and put his free hand to cover his mouth and cheeks since he was smiling crazily and blushing widely. Ian felt his rough palm touch hers and lock their hands together. She looked at his face. His ears were red and he was sweating. She smiled sweetly at his kind gesture and tightening their hands together as the movie proceeded. At the end of the movie, sorry, I don't know if that picked up. At the end of the movie, they went outside, still holding hands as they walked along the quiet street. He then suggested that could go to the arcade, and Yin almost ran there. They both loved the place. It was quite busy, but they had a lot of fun. In the inside part of the arcade, they played games such as air hockey and Pac-Man, Fight Streeter, and Space Avengers. At lunchtime, they sat in a booth and got pizza and fries to share. He, of course, ordered some hot sauce and poured pursue her to try some. Her face went red as steam came out of her nose. She needed about 4 cups of water to cool down. All the while, a certain ash blonde laughed through the whole thing. After their fiasco, they went outside part of the arcade. They went into a haunted house, and she clung to him like a bat as monsters popped out of nowhere while he protected. He was scared as well, but since he was comfortable around Yin, he didn't hide it. By the way, there is a video down below this. Not down below the video, but in this, there is a video of just 2 men screaming their heads off. So, yeah. After that terrifying encounter, they headed for the roller coaster and played some games there as well. As there was to say, it was a blast, of course. But all good things must come to an end. The sun started setting, meaning it was time to go home. They walked along a cozy path as they discussed their favorite things. It was nice. Bakugo never felt more normal. Sure, he liked fame, but sometimes it was too much for him. And to spend it with an amazing girl like Yin made things a whole lot better. The wind came quickly, and the girl shivered at the coldness. And like the gentleman he was, he took off his jacket and placed it on her shoulders. He smiled. Oh, she smiled in gratitude as they kept walking, hand in hand, smile on their faces. They reached Nyan's apartment building. Thank you for today, Katsuki. I had lots of fun. She got on her tippy toes and gave him a peck on the cheek. He froze and smiled nervously at him. What? Oh, she smiled nervously at him. Yeah, no problem, he replied shakily. She walked to the door and before going, turning around and waved at him. He did back and she disappeared. He brought his hand up to his cheek and smiled softly at the sky. I fucking love that girl. It was the next morning. The alarm of the clock went off and woke Yin up from her tired gaze. She took a look at her phone and saw a text from Katsuki and her friend Butch. She replied, "Good morning" to Katsuki and then opened her friend's text. Butcher, girl, you went out with Bakugo Katsuki. Why didn't you tell me? Witch, how do you know? Butcher, look at the news, bitch. You're famous. She confusedly looked at the news on her phone, and her poor eyes widened at the sight. A picture of her and Katsuki holding hands for everyone to see. Famous Katsuki Bakugo and Mystery Girl is seen in a local arcade holding hands? Dating? Question mark? She looked alarmed at it. She then received a text from the one and only Boom Boy. I am so fucking sorry about this shit. I'd figured out a way to get rid of it. Small bean. No, it's okay. But what are you going to do? Boom Boy. I have no idea. P.S. This only has 2 parts, so this was the final part. And I feel so bad for all you Bakugo Sims because there is only 4 chapters left of this book. So I feel sorry. I'll try and find a new one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. And before I say anything, I do have 3 books in the work right now. And one of them is a Bakugo one. So please, and if you guys do want any more books, I'm still in a writing mood. So please comment down what you want and I'll write it. It'll probably take some time though, but please And also, I do announce when books are finished on my YouTube. So if you want to see those, then yeah. Bye, guys. I love you all so much.